All right, we've all decided to go ahead and put the collar on. They want us to stay stitch neck edge between large circles, which is here. So that's what we're going to do. And you all know stay stitching is sewing just outside of 5/8 of an inch. And we've already reinforced stitched. This is where the dot is that they want us to go from. So we're going to do, it's just like a collar edge. We're going to start here and just go completely around the collar. And again, making sure that that doesn't flip.
Is that 5/8?
It's just at 5/8, maybe a little less. But let me tell you a little secret. Right now, I'm making sure that I am the same on both ends of this, because this is going to become my stitching line, and I need this collar stand to be even when I do the collar. So it's almost like I'm drawing myself a guideline as I do this stay stitching. Okay, so I'm going to the other dot, raise it, pull it up. All right, so I'm concerned that this, see it, to me it's skinny on this end. I don't like that, so I'm going to redo it because it needs to, oh, remember I have this nick. I shouldn't have dropped down that far from when I cut it out. Okay, so let me do a new stay stitch. So now I'm looking at this side. Now I blend it back. Okay. So because of that, I need to get rid of this other one. And frankly, it starts about here that I need to get rid of. So you cut it. Good grief. Cut the one stitch, and now I take this end and cut one stitch, and then I can pull it out. So I grab a stitch here, and this is easy because I'm sewing black on white. But now see how I'm pulling out stitches like that? So now I've got enough to grab with my hand. It didn't like going over the thick part where the interfacing is. Well, what I could do now, I've got enough on the back that's loose that I can pull that. So now if I just pull the stitching out, now it's gone. And I've got it the way I need it now. See how it's wider? And that's going to look better on the other side. Because this is almost like a guideline for me to sew, okay? So the next thing they tell me to do is to pin the collar to the neck edge, matching the notches, centers, and circles, clipping neck edge where necessary, and baste it. I'm not basting it, I'm sewing it. All right, so I always, you know what, I don't wait till I pin it to clip it, I just clip it, so it's easier to pin. So I clip first. Now, what I have to do is make sure this is my center mark. I have to make sure I make my clips different so I don't confuse my clips with my center mark. Okay? And right there, my seam allowance is shorter. I have to remember that. It's not going to line up because it's going to be less than 5/8 right there. Okay? So I have to remember that, which is what I didn't do when I stay stitched it. All right, so here's the pattern piece, and I have to see, is it the one that's interfaced? It is. So remember, we interfaced one and not the other. Oh, we interfaced both. All right, so that's because they told us to. So we'll take that one away. I should have a center mark on here. There it is. Okay. I want to make sure this is going in, so that's the wrong way. This has to sit in here like this, okay? So now I'll find the center mark and take that, and there's my center mark, and match those two. See how marking those makes life easier? And look, there's the other center mark, and look where it landed, right on the center back seam. All right, so now the one that's clipped is the one that gets wrapped around. So this is the seam allowance that is the right size. Look how those notches matched. So again, we're going to come down to this corner. And then this is going to wrap around that way. But I'll do it when I get there. So now always start in the middle, work your way out. And remember, from this point where that little notch is, my seam allowances should not match because of the way I accidentally cut it. So it should be about there. But when it gets back to this notch, they should match. So that's about right. Now we're going to get it, pin it down to here, down to that corner, which is there. Pull that to there. All right, so now this goes, it's going to be right there, and this is going to wrap backwards like that. This one's sharp. This one is a hard one. So if you didn't learn anything from this jacket, you've learned how to do insets. All right, so now we're going to sew. And again, we're going to try to stay on the left side. Now, I've got to keep that point, and I'm going to use this pin to help me keep it where I need it to be. Okay. One more stitch, put the needle down, spin this around, and frankly, I don't like where the needle went down. The needle needed to go down there. Okay, so now I can just sew. That's okay. Now, let me show you. See how this is a consistent width apart? I want to maintain that because it's going to be visible. So I'm staying directly on top of that stay stitching. Remember I said it's going to be like my guideline? I can see it. So I'm using it to make sure that I keep that same line. Keep these lined up, edge to edge. I'm going to get to this corner. I'm going to drop the needle down. One stitch. Now I can lift the presser foot and spin this around, which it's fighting me, and then turn this to here. There we go. And knot it. Okay. Where's my scissors? Oh, here they are. So now I'm going to cut this and show you what we did. Pull the pins out. Is it? Oh, yeah. Thank you. And then now We just did that. Okay, and it should be the same on both ends, which it is, and this should maintain a consistent width the whole way, as does this. Okay, so that should be a consistent width, and this should be a consistent width. If you stay on 5/8 of an inch, keep all your seam allowances lined up together. While you do it, you'll get, it's a straight piece. It's not getting fat and skinny and fat and skinny, okay? All right, so let's go press it, and then we're done for today. And this is what you're to have done when you come back next week.